Hey there, you're tuned into MEA Worldwide. I'm your host, Elena Jordan, and today I'm sitting down with Danielle Mone Truitt.
Hi.
You guys can catch her on Fox's Deputy. Awesome series,
Yay.
By the way. Checked out the pilot, love it.
Oh, great.
Now, tell us a little bit about your character on the show, Minnick.
Cool. So yeah, I'm Charlie Minnick on the show. I used to be a high school teacher, but some unfortunate events happened where some of my students were killed. And so I quit and joined the sheriff department. And so I've been a deputy for, I think, the last almost 10 years. And so where the series picks up, or where I join the series, I become the training officer to Deputy Joseph Harris. He's the young guy that just, got his start. And so I become his...
Rough start.
Right. Very rough. That's why he needs me in his life to help him. And so I become his training officer and teach him the ropes and just teach him what it means, to be a deputy and to uphold, the badge that we have and the oath that we took, and challenge him in a lot of ways, in the ways that he thinks about what it means to be a deputy, what it means to be a black man as a deputy, and then also, Charlie has her own things that she wants. She wants to move up and go to major crimes, which she is more than qualified for. But when Sheriff Bradford was in office, he kept rejecting her getting that position. And so now that Sheriff Hollister is in the seat, she's hoping maybe she might be able to move up into major crimes. But when you first meet Minnick, she's actually helping major crimes out. In episode 2, when you meet her, she'll be helping Deputy Cade out on a mission or whatever. So it kind of shows that that's kind of where she belongs. It's just her way of moving up, and now she's been given the responsibility of training Joseph. So she wants to make sure that she does a good job with that.
Now, you're no stranger, too, to playing a very qualified police officer, considering you were the title character in Rebel on BET. Did you feel like that character, and playing such an intense role, you were in every scene of just about every episode of that show.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that kind of helped give you the training behind the scenes for this character?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My role as Rebel definitely prepared me for playing Charlie. There's a lot of physical activity that happens when you are playing a police officer, a deputy, or a private detective, or whatever it is. So for Rebel, I had a lot of fight training and got a lot of knowledge on, what it means to hold those types of, to be an officer of that sort. And just being on a series, being a lead character on a series, it does take a lot of work, a lot of stamina, a lot of preparation. It's it's serious business. So getting a chance to play Rebel and be in every scene, it gave me. It was almost like a crash course on, it was like, boom, there you go. Learn how to be the lead on a television show, So honestly, being on Deputy, I'm like, ooh, this is this is less work. This is great,
I love
but
that
it's
even a super challenging character. Now you're like,
right, I'm right.
I've done it.
I got this. It's cool. But we also have some really awesome tech advisors from the sheriff's department and from major crimes that come. They're on set all the time.
Oh, wow.
To make sure that the things that we're doing are in line with what would happen in a real situation, what deputies would really do. And of course it's television, so certain things are heightened, but at the core, we do have people from the sheriff's department, and we do have people from major crimes that have been working in those departments for 2 or more decades, giving us, telling us, this is the way things would happen, and down to this is the way you hold a gun, this is the way you take it out of the holster, this is how your positioning should be. This is the way you move down a hallway with your partner, you know, and it's great. So I'm always learning, and a lot of us did ride-alongs with sheriffs, and so we're getting a lot of, you know, inside information, and I think it's helping to shape our characters. Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing that you learned from having these actual deputies on set?
I think the most interesting thing I learned is, it sounds boring, but there are these lines we have to say where it's like 1033, give me the patch, and I don't know what that stuff, like I don't know what any of that stuff means. It's like David, Frank, blah 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 blah. It's like all this, you know, all these numbers, and you know, I mean, everybody knows what a 187 is, but you know, like all those numbers and stuff. It's like, what do these things mean? And so they kind of broke down, like, hey, this is what it, you know, this is what this means when you say 1033, give me the patch. You're asking to be patched in to like a line where all of the sheriffs, or all of the deputies in the surrounding area can hear what you're saying, you know. And so it's like, oh, okay, so you're, you know, learning what all this jargon means, so it's not just empty things. And then they let us listen to like actual deputies like make these calls and stuff, and some of them are so funny. But like, it just, what? I mean, sometimes they're super excited or nervous about what's gonna happen, like if it's their first day, like, you know, sometimes they can't remember all the numbers, or they say them wrong, or they click off of their walkie before they're done talking, so it's like in the middle of talking, it's like it just goes out, and then they're like, they have to start over, you know, or they're like pissed off, and like, so you can like hear, you know, how pissed they are, you know. But it just takes you into the life of like what it's like to be, you know, to be a deputy. And then it's, I mean, the technical part of holding your gun, using it, when to use it, how fast you got to get it out fast, you know, and you know what you can and can't do, and you know just how to move, like the way they move, and shooting, learning how to shoot. Like, you know, we went to a gun range and they taught us how to shoot, and it's hard. It's like there's like a lot of kickback to those guns, you know. It's not as easy as it seems on television, you know. Those things have a lot of kickback, and so if it's not aimed in the right way, you're not gonna hit your target, you know what I mean. And then also, like, one of the tech supervisors was like, you know, he hasn't had to use his gun at all 20 years, you know, of him being in the force. He's never had to use his gun. He's never had to shoot or kill anybody, you know. And so that brings a lot of like clarity to both sides of being in law enforcement, you know, those who feel like they need to, they're so nervous, but there are so many cops and sheriffs and deputies that never do, you know. It's not necessary, you know. So I think it just helps those of us who really aren't cops, you know, we're playing it on TV, but we're not really cops, so talking to those people and getting their insight and hearing their stories, it kind of humanizes that job a little bit more, you know. So.
And I heard that you kind of felt that way when you took the role of Rebel too. Mm-hmm. So that kind of changed the whole way that you kind of perceived law enforcement.
Yeah.
So did that affect how you perceived going into this role when you went to audition? Mm-hmm. And do you feel like that kind of helped you out a little bit?
Well, I mean, I know that Charlie is a cop, or a deputy, but when I went into audition, I wanted to just make her a human being. Like, she's a person. Like, her being a deputy is just what she does for a living. You know what I mean? It's just like me. I'm an actress for a living, but Danielle is an actual person that feels things, that struggles with things, that goes through a lot of things. And I think more than trying to play a cop or trying to play a deputy, it's trying to tell a true story of an actual human being that people can relate to in different ways, you know? So it takes it demystifies, I think, the job of being in law enforcement, and it breaks those characters down to just being human people that we all can relate to in a lot of ways. So I think that's what I focused on more when I went into the audition. Is like, what does she want? What's important to her? You know, what makes her tick? You know, and not judging her for anything, but just playing her authentically as a person. Yeah.
And I think that's part of what makes this show so great too, is that it's this feeling of everything is the heart of the situation. It's the emotion behind all of the actions that drive everything, because it is kind of this gray area of what is right and what is wrong. Now you have also, of course, on Rebel played a character that addresses head-on issues like racial issues, sexism, especially in law enforcement. Is this something that we'll maybe see addressed more in Deputy as well? Because I know it's just been the first episode and they've already been like, boom, this is our stance on ICE. It's wrong. We're breaking it up. Like, just
people were so mad. We were on Twitter and people were so mad. Oh my God, they were so mad. They're like, we're not watching this show. We're not watching this show. This is a leftist, you know, whatever, and political. This show is political. It's like, the show is not political. It's not political. Like, life is political. If the show is political, then life is political, because we live in the world, and politics is a huge part of the world, and it's a huge part of things that are affecting people's lives every day. We are affected every day by politics. So to say that the show shouldn't be political when we're talking about law enforcement, that's crazy. Like, that doesn't even make any sense, but whatever. The show is beautiful in the way that it does address a lot of things that people find important in the world, and everybody's not going to agree on it. You know what I mean? Even in that scene where they're talking about ICE, you have Sheriff Hollister saying, "Hey, I'm not with it, shut it down." But then you have the undersheriff, Jerry London, saying, "You can't do that," you know,
and explaining why.
Right. So it gives both people's side, you know. And we're gonna get into a lot of different issues, being African American and LAPD, and you know how African Americans are treated by the police at times, and we're gonna talk. We get into. One of our characters, one of our actors on the show is non-binary, you know, and so talk a lot about those issues and things like that. And I mean, that's the beauty of art and of television, to be able to, talk about things, and maybe even help people understand things in a different way than they did before, and opening up their hearts and their minds to the opinions of different people and the lifestyles of different people and the mindsets of different people, because I think that's the way we unify our country and our communities. If you just are only open to your way of seeing something or doing something, then you're living a very, very small life. So I think the beautiful thing about our show is that it does touch on a lot of different things.
I love that it's too kind of this modern Western as well, and it's this genre that's kind of getting a new resurgence too.
Pretty cool.
If you could pick any genre for your next performance to be a part of, what genre would you most want to be a part of and get to explore?
Oh wow, that's a good question.
Because you've done just about everything from Disney to,
you know what?
Drama.
You are right, homegirl. I didn't even think about that. Disney, and then Rebel was kind of like black exploitation-ish, and then this is like Western-ish. Gosh.
And not even getting into your theater background, which is just about every genre under the sun as well. So
you know what? I mean, gosh, I think the beauty or the fun of being in this career is that you don't know what's next, and you just want to be ready for whatever comes next. I mean, I would say comedy, but I really enjoy doing dramas. Like, I love doing dramas, and I guess a comedy would be fun. I've done like a guest star in a comedy or a co-star or whatever.
Yeah. We've definitely seen you be funny. The lady, Super Fun Night.
So those are fun too.
Super Fun Night was with Rebel Wilson, and then you played Rebel.
Oh, isn't that crazy? That's so funny. I said that, and we have the same birthday, me and her. Yeah, Rebel Wilson. We were both born on March 2nd. So it was so funny when I ended up getting my own series that her name was Rebel. That's so funny. She was so nice too. She was super cool. I want to do film. I want to go into film, so I would love to do like a romantic comedy maybe. Ooh. Or or a drama. Like I do want to get into film, so I guess that's kind of where my sights are set, and I love the stage. So anytime I have a chance to go back and do theater and Broadway one day, I would love to do, But yeah, I love that there's so much diversity in the things that I've gotten a chance to do. It's pretty cool.
And one project that kind of blended your stage performance with film, of course, Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
You played Georgia. But a lot of people don't know, not only were you this incredible voice actress, but you were actually Tiana in real life, right?
I was, yes.
You were the reference.
Yes, I was a reference for Princess Tiana. It was such a cool experience because most people don't know what goes behind like making these animations, and I had no idea that they did video referencing for these characters. That's what they used to do back in the day. Like they would hire actual people and film them, playing these characters. They would lip sync and lip talk the words and act out, and then they would draw it. It's such an incredible process. And nowadays they're doing like the dots and stuff. But there were no dots. Like it was just them filming me do all the scenes, and then I even got to do all the dancing when she was a frog, like all that stuff too. So fun.
Did you dress up in costume?
Yes, I dressed up in like a beautiful gown, and I had like her when she was the waitress, like the waitress outfit, and my frog was a stuffed animal frog that I kissed. It was so funny. But it was really fun, like learning all the choreography for the movie and lip syncing and talking the lines, and just it was amazing to see like them go. I would film and they would go back and they would draw it out. And so in a lot of the early references of Princess Tiana, she looked exactly like me, like because they were looking at my face, you know what I mean? So and so then after a while they morphed her into her own look, but it was just so cool, like to see how talented they are, to see my face going kissing and then for them to draw it out, and it looked just like it was an amazing experience. And then from that, they asked me if I wanted to do a speaking role, which was really cool. And I was like, yeah, I would love to, and it was just a small little role, but it was like made history, So my kids and people that know me, they're like, you're Princess Tiana. So I was like, I'm her essence, yes. Not her voice. Much love to Anika Noni Rose. She was amazing in doing the voice for her. And but it was a great experience for me that I'll definitely never forget it.
And you also got to be George in the video game as well, right?
In the video game too. Yeah. And then I actually played Princess Tiana at Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah, so the first when the Princess and the Frog was when they came up with a live show at Disneyland, I was the first Princess Tiana for their live show. It was called Tiana Showboat Jubilee, and because I sing as well, so I went in and auditioned for it, and they were like, why does it say that you worked on the film? And I was like, because I did.
Because I was.
And they're like, what? So then I told them, they're like, oh my God. And they're like, you can sing too? I'm like, yeah. So I was Princess Tiana on Tiana Showboat Jubilee. We did like a few performances every day for a few weeks, and it was all the songs. I sung all the songs from the movie, and there was dancers, and it was really fun.
Did your kids come out to see?
Yeah, at that time. Oh wait, I didn't have any kids at that time.
Oh wow!
I had a life before children. I had no kids. That's so funny. Yep, I had no kids at that time. So no, they never seen me do it live, but they know it's me on the movie and they watch it. That's crazy. Yeah, I ended up getting pregnant actually while I was doing Princess Tiana, the Showboat Jubilee or whatever. I ended up getting pregnant with my first kid. But yeah, they missed me live in action doing that.
I love that though, that your show for kids then led into you having your own show.
Right, pretty cool.
Then got to celebrate you as that character.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Because it's so iconic. So that's great.
Thank you.
Would you ever want to do any of the kind of motion capture technology as well, or do any video game things again?
Maybe. I mean, I actually, there's a company called MEAWW. It's a new upcoming like company, and I went and did a voiced a character for like one of their like new things that they're kind of trying out, like test projects or whatever. And it's just amazing to see like how animation is continuing to progress and how realistic it is, and all the technology that goes along with it. So yeah, it would be fun. It would definitely be fun.
I mean, you also have a true love that kind of brought you into acting, though, theater.
Yes.
Of course. Mm-hmm. And you, oh my gosh, have done multiple one-woman shows. Which that by itself is like, wow. But you're also, I know, kind of getting behind the scenes as well, producing, directing. Mm-hmm. What are some of the projects that you feel are the most reflective of you as a person that you're most proud of that you've gotten to portray?
Yeah. Well, one project that I'm very proud of is my one-woman play called 3. And it was written by my friend Anthony Dewan. I came up with the concept of it, and he helped me write it. And it's about 3 young women who grew up together, and then at 30, they have to deal with like a lot of life issues that they weren't planning to have to ever face. But anybody who's living and who is past 30 knows there comes a time where you got to face, shit. Can I say that on there?
You can. Once you're after 30, you can say whatever you want to.
You have to face your SHIT. But it's a beautiful show. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's infuriating. But it is a true picture of the human condition. And I have produced it several times. My hope is to get to do like a full run of it for like 4 weeks here in Los Angeles, get a review, because it's an amazing play, and I really want to take it further, than it has gone. But so far, the people who have seen it, which has been a good number, they rave about it. They love it, and so I'm really, really proud of that piece of work, and I'm going to continue, to produce it and get it to where I want it to be. And then I'm super proud to be a part of Rebel. Like, it was definitely an experience in my life that I will never forget, and getting to work with John Singleton was a highlight of my career so far. And he passed away last year, and I am still devastated by it, because he was somebody who he really just took a liking to me and had a lot of faith in me, and gave me an opportunity that honestly most people don't get when they have a resume that looked like mine at the time, which was just a whole bunch of theater, 1 guest star and 1 co-star. No, I didn't have anything else. And for me to go into that audition, and for me to audition, and for him to say, like, she's who I want. I don't care what's on her resume. I don't care if she's famous or not. She's right for this part. There's not a lot of people in the industry that are willing to take those kind of risks, and to see new talent and to see something special in them and pull it out and assure them that what is innately in them is enough, and so we became really good friends, and I will love him forever for that, and I owe him a lot. Sorry, I'm getting emotional, but I owe him a lot to where I'm at right now. And if it wasn't for him, me meeting him in the time that I did, I might have gave up. It's just hard. This being in this industry is hard, and people don't really realize it. They see the glitz and the glam, they see you on television, and they think it's easy, but it's not. And all of us need those kind of people in our lives that believe in us, and so I feel like he's still with me. He's my angel, and he's talking to God for me a lot, and I love him, and so that's definitely a big highlight of my career so far. Let's see, what else? Gosh, I feel like I'm proud of everything I've done. Princess and the Frog, I mean, that's history. The first African American princess, like, that I had a chance to be a part of that. Like, I feel honored that I was even asked to help bring her to life, you know? And you could have never told me when I was a little girl growing up in South Sacramento in the hood that I one day would be responsible for helping the first Disney princess come to life. You know what I mean? Never in a million years would I have thought that, you know?
So everybody can check you out on Deputy
yes.
on Fox.
Yes, I joined the series this next Thursday coming up. Charlie Minnick, the Velvet Hammer, AKA the Velvet Hammer, will be joining the series,
and
I'll
where
be there.
Can everybody keep up with you as well?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Danielle Mone Truitt, and on Twitter, Danielle Mone Truitt, and on Facebook, Danielle Mone Truitt.
And you guys can check out all of our interviews at MEA Worldwide. That's MEAWW.com. Until next time, I'm Elena Jordan. Have a great day and check out Deputy.
Bye.